Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Baylor Athletic Hall of Fame, Jason Smith.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? All right, we were over there bragging about being 3 minutes, and I think she's the only one that made it. But I took time to write down some names. Actually, I had my wife text them to me, and then my phone was going dead, so then I wrote them on the program. So I'm known for not plugging my phone in. I'm one of those guys. I have my wife here with me, Daisy, of 11 years, our son and daughter over at the hotel with a babysitter. I have my mother here, Linda. Yes, that's my mother right there. I have Glenn Caldwell with me, Jessica Caldwell. Glenn's my father to me so many years that God has given me. Montez Murphy, if you don't know him, he actually played here at Baylor. He was my host when I came on my freshman visit at the age of 17, and when I walked on Baylor's campus, he gave me the do's and don'ts of how we're going to live and became a big brother to me. And I do credit a lot of my success in college and growing up to that man right there, and his wife is here with him as well. So I know he's not a Hall of Fame inductee tonight, but would you please stand, Murph, please? God bless you. Thank you. I'm going to go down this list of a lot of names that have helped me be who I am today. There's so much history in this room. Everybody know of Coach Taft, and there's a lot of just elderly people that have paved the way for people like me in my position. I am a crier, so I'm going to hope that I don't cry as I talk, because when I got the email from Mr. Walter, the first thing I did was I texted my teammates that I played with, that I came with. Only one of them is going to be able to make it tomorrow. Dwayne Crawford said he'll be here with me. But it's just good to see Curtis Gerals, Mamadou, just people that we knew each other when we were 19, 18, 17, very, I would say, dumb, and just here on college campus. And I honestly don't know. It was honestly God's mercy. And I thank God for having mercy on me while I was here in Waco, because I did a lot of stupid stuff that never made it to TV or across the coach's desk. But I did have 2 strikes as a freshman. I did. Coach Carr at the time told me I was on my 2nd strike, and I asked him to please move me out of the apartment I was in and move me now. I moved into an apartment with Yancey Bodner, who was a real big guy and very, very mean and had a lot of rules. But it saved my life, I'll say that. Carolyn Jordan, my grandmother. Linda Smith, my mother. Glenn Caldwell, Jessica Caldwell. Billy Thompson, who's my coach from high school, who's very, very dear to me still to this day. Mike Zafuto, Coach Wesley McGriff, who came to Dallas, sat at my table. We were a poor family, and he came into our home and had food with us. We had roaches. Now I'm looking back, I'm like, man, no way I'd have came into the house I lived at 8, but he did. To God be the glory. We were raised inner city and very, very poor. Coach Guy Morris, Mr. Pete Rowe, Mr. Sammy Citrano, and these names were written before I walked in and saw your face. But Mr. Sammy, you mean so much to me and Baylor, wherever he is, feeding us all the time. Adrian Ross, Soretta Ross, Montez Murphy, James Jarman, Valerie Lott, Tierra Barber. A little story about that. I wanted to quit college probably about, I'm going to say, first semester. I couldn't comprehend. And I went to Valerie Lott, who was our academic advisor, and said, I'm not smart enough for college. I said, I don't understand. My grades are bad. I just think the best thing for me to do is just go back to Dallas and quit. And she said, no, you're gonna come sit in my office every day after class, and you'll be late to football if you have to, and I'll hold you out if I have to, but you're not going to quit. And wherever she is in life, I Facebooked her one day. I was boo-hooing, crying, and thought about it, and just told her, when you get kids, and I have a 6-year-old son, and you start, seeing yourself in them, you start, these memory lanes and all the people in your life that have helped make you to who you are, and now you're raising a son, and it's just kind of things change. But Dr. Dale Conley, I believe he's still here. I'm not sure if he is. Dr. Conley, he's a tremendous man. Mike Sims, he was inducted to the Hall of Fame 2 years ago. Well, Mike, can you wave everybody? Everybody who's an athlete at some point probably crossed Mike Sims' table. He's worthy. He's worthy of double honor. Mike, please stand. Come on, stand up, Mike. Let everybody see you, Mike. There's Mike, everybody. There's Mike Sims. But when my wife and I were pregnant with our first child, second child, Mike Sims, we call. To this day, I'm doing the Social Security disability claims, and they all ask you, who is your doctor? And I say, well, Mike Sims is my doctor. And then I actually found out he's not a real doctor one day. Yeah. They said he's not a doctor. You have to pick a real doctor. I said, Mike, do you have a doctor for me I can go visit? Mr. Dave Chandler, he's here somewhere. Dave, where are you? I saw him. Wave your hand, Dave. There's Dave Chandler, everybody. All right. Penland cafeteria staff. The Penland, you don't think much about them, but they fed us all the time. And, in football, I don't know how it is now, but back then you didn't get much food throughout the week, and they would let us come over and eat. Me and Mom was like, yeah. But they would they would feed us. And Terry and Jackie Strickland, I don't know if you know them. Everybody know Terry, Jackie Strickland. Mr. Barry Graves, George Barry Graves. Mr. and Mrs. Dirk. Mr. J and Jenny Allison. Mr. John and Tuesday Embry. And Walter Abercrombie. I got a funny story about Mr. Walter. My dad, Glenn, tells me make sure I meet him, Mr. Walter Abercrombie. So I'm like, okay, one day I'll meet Walter Abercrombie. I'm like, whoever he is. So one day this guy had his car, and his battery was dead, and he's trying to crank his car. I had a truck. I got all these tools. I go over to help him out. I met Walter Abercrombie. So Mr. Walter Abercrombie. It's like my freshman year in college. And Mr. Claude and Mrs. Becky Lindsay, where are they? Boom, great friends. Mrs. Lindsay is always helping us. I believe she was volunteering her time, always, giving IVs, working on us. And they're just great friends that have been friends to me since I was walked in the door at the age of 18. Thank you so much. And for just being in my life, even to this day. Mr. Lindsay and Mrs. Lindsay, or somebody that my wife tells me sometimes I need to call and talk to about horses. By the way, I race barrel horses. Coach Art Browse, Coach Big John, Coach Kaz Kazadi, Coach Roof, Coach Davis, and Coach Sean McPherson is here tonight. Would you give them a round of applause? They were always our strength staff. The things that I'll say in receiving this Hall of Fame is thank you so much to the committee and who all it is that accepts or tells us who we are or who's going to make it. Obviously, I was always hoping to be a great athlete here at Baylor, and truth be told, that's really was my whole focus in being here, is to be an athlete, a student athlete. And I tried to do that as best as I could and as hard as I could. And I was one of those guys that just didn't want to take no for an answer. We did not win a lot of games when I played, but I do believe that we were working on something. We were working on building something that one day it would be, I guess, what it is today. Obviously, Baylor is a great school and a great football program, and it has done so much for me, as well as a lot of young men and young women. And it's been great just listening to the speeches from tonight. And so if I had a great speech to say, I would just say thank God for the godly atmosphere that Baylor did give me. It helped me to learn who God is and who Jesus is, and it allowed me to one day accept salvation and stop being that young, dumb kid that was looking for what sin we could do today. And so I'm thankful for the life that Baylor did carve out for me and my salvation. And so as far as a Hall of Fame speech, I just want to say thank you to all those people that mean something to me, because if it wasn't who you put time into me, as well as other players, or just came by and gave us a speech, or came by and shook our hands, or came by and was available to us to tell us those stories of old, we wouldn't be who we are today. And so as for me, Baylor means something to me. It really does. It meant so much that I tattooed it all down my arm. I think it was a bunch of us were supposed to go get tattoos, and I was the only one who ended up with it. And I was like, you know what? I said, you know what? I am captain and I am the leader, so I guess I will be the one to wear it. But we are playing Texas tomorrow, and for me, when we played Texas, I'll share that mentality as a football player. We always hated them with a passion. They thought they were better than us, and you really wanted to make sure that you were more hydrated that week, lifted more weights that week. You had a good fresh haircut. I mean, just the things that go along with, you being who you are, to make sure that you play Texas as hard as possible. And I still go back to and get to see some of those highlight reels of when we played Texas, because I feel like I was just at my most physicalist, if that's a word. Like when you're the strongest you could be. So I'm very confident that we're going to beat Texas tomorrow. Somehow you're just a little bit stronger. Now, it was kind of funny. I don't know if y'all caught this, but he said OU. He said, did y'all hear what he said? Oklahoma. But Coach Scott, Drew, thank you for being who you are here at Baylor, and the success that you've had with the men's basketball team. It's definitely wonderful to watch, knowing the year I came was the year after the situation with the basketball player or something back in 2003 or 4, and it was just good to see guys like, Kevin from Dallas. Would you stand, please, if you don't mind? And it's not his night, but I'm gonna tell the story. He was one of the greatest at the time. I don't know how good he is now, but at the time he was a great highly recruited athlete out of high school, and I was already here, and he came here from Dallas, and it's just the ability that Coach Scott Drew was able to. I know this is not about y'all, but this is our Hall of Fame night. But thank y'all, because guys like him came. Curtis later came. Henry came. Mamadou came. I remember Mamadou's first day on campus, and I was just yelling at him loud and trying to make him feel more comfortable, because he was tall and he wasn't from America and didn't know nobody. And I'm like, man, you know me. If you know me, you know everybody. I'm gonna show you everybody. But thank y'all for the opportunity. There's just so much people and faces and memories all of a sudden when you get in this room and start seeing people and the green hair and Ashley. I mean, you see friends and then you see the acrobatic team flipping and stuff, and you're like, man, look at those flips. But it's just amazing who Baylor is, and God bless everyone. And just remember to just shed some light to the next kid or the next generation, just like you all did for me. When I was, I'll tell the story. Now I'm thinking, oh boy, you're gonna give me talk. You're gonna be thinking now. So we had it was the night before a game. I don't remember what game it was, but they had Gary Baxter come, and they had Mel Blunt's son, Mr. Norris Blunt. They came and spoke to the team, and when I finally met Gary Baxter, later he was inducted into Hall of Fame in 19 with Mr. Mike Sims. I told him how much his speech meant to me. He came, had a white T-shirt on, white ball cap. I remember a little of the details of I just remember what he wore. And I told him that what he told us was, he said, you're not a good team, but different now because all the teams are graded. But back then, we weren't a good team. And he said, but you have to play as hard as you want to be good. And then he also said that, no matter how good your team is, you as individuals make the team better. And so just those moments where those players were able to come in and share that with me, it stuck with me. So God bless you all. Thank you for the opportunity. And go Bears. And I'm thankful, and I'll put this ring back with this ring when I get back home, so I can keep up with them. But God bless you, and thank you. Yes, sir.